traders, and welcome to another daily market wrap-up for ReadySetFutures. I'm TK, and here's our headlines for the day. S&P 500 ES, a ripper of the day off expectation misses on nearly every single major data point that came out today. Gold, continuing to flirt with its lower value area. Crude, slower day as expected, selling off into the close. And copper, holding its own above our key resistance area. Starting with the ES and taking a look at today's data dump, let's take a brief review, folks. The Empire Fed survey, missed. Retail sales, missed. Producer price index, miss. Consumer confidence, miss. Business inventory sales, miss. Industrial production, miss. Capacity utilization, miss. The net result? A 45-point rip in the ES from its overnight low. I don't know about you, seems to me that the meme of bad news is good news is alive and well, especially when we look at the Fed meeting next week. It looks like central bank manipulation's back. Here we don't try and fight the Fed, but unbelievable. It's kind of at a loss for words here. That was the net result. This morning I mentioned that I took a position yesterday around the Globex Open. To give you guys an update, I did end up closing that position for a small loss on today's Globex Open, just maybe a few hours ago. I do, in my own work, I follow a grouping of several custom signals that I've cooked up. It's a bit of a home brew. They're based on historically significant correlations among several instruments and several data indices. It helps me get a collective sentiment of where the market's shifting. Last week, that collective body of work was showing short, and we got a short move. And now, believe it or not, that sentiment is beginning to shift long. I guess maybe it's not so surprising given what's in store next week, but I'm going to zoom in here on the hourly chart. I'm going to take this out just to kind of show you guys, give you guys some context. Again, this is, if you're looking at this volume profile, this is essentially the volume profile after the Brexit. This area here was the fallout from the June 24th Brexit vote. Kind of a key date, really, key inflection point in the market. And this has been the action since. And this, as you can see here, is the volume profile for that action. The most recent dip down is here. This is really this week's action. I'll zoom in one click here for you. That's this week's action. The top red line and the bottom red line and the green line are our volume area kind of markers, if you will. The green line being the volume point of control, and the thick red lines are the value area. What is this arcing, almost logarithmic looking line? That is the volume weighted average price. It's the developing volume weighted average price, and as you can see, it's traced an arc similar to what price pattern has been. However, looking into it, we can see on Monday's sell-off, we traded right through it, and we've been, every time we have reattempted, prices failed to gain acceptance, including today. And so while kind of this collective group of indicators and signals I look at is turning toward the long side, I have to say it is not all the way long, not enough for me to take a position long. It is leaning in that direction. I'm going to leave it at that. But, it's just important to see we have been trading around this lower value area boundary. We traded off of it yesterday. That was a 75% retracement from this kind of intermediate swing. Today we traded through it, but we have rejected off of the volume weighted average price. So take it for what you think it is. That's how I read the market, and that was today's action in the ES. Turning to the gold market, this is an hourly chart of the gold market. I'm going to leave this up so you can see maybe some finer granularity in the volume profile, as well as the same similar lines, the red being our value area and the green being volume point of control, you can see that the volume point of control is nearly shifted lower, which makes sense considering today's price action, a lower trade, and you can see the volume weighted average price quite a bit higher. So, our thought, I'm going to click over here to the daily, and you can kind of see as we've come up into this consolidation zone, we continue to talk about our downward trend channel. Today's price action here trading lower and below the value area. It'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow, whether or not this actually holds and whether we begin to find acceptance down here or whether or not that price fails and we trade higher. Our propensity is to feel that this price will end up plumbing the lows down here at 1305, 1300. We just don't know when. It could be tomorrow, could be next week. And especially with some of the central banker, speak over the next, week or so, anything is possible. But that's crude, not crude, but gold today. We look forward to trading lower. There's also an argument to be made on the high side if you're bullish in this market. You can, it's like statistics. You can get them to tell you about anything. But that is our view in gold, and that was today's market action. Moving now over to crude, we're looking here at the daily chart of crude. This being today's price action. After kind of the whirlwind week that we've had in crude, up 4% one day, down 6% the next, up 5% the day after. It's pretty much a pretty wild ride. Not unexpected for crude oil. That's kind of the way it trades. But today was a bit of a sleepier day, quieter day, more range bound, although we did sell off into the close. You can see yesterday we traded down into this high volume node off of, I guess, a disappointing build in gasoline, not so much in crude oil, but that ended up driving the market, and we've been kind of captured within this space a little bit. Seems that we've gapped open into the overnight and looking to trade a little bit lower, but we traded down to this value area region boundary, and then we've bid back up. So it'll be interesting to see how crude continues to trade. We may begin to get another swing, although I doubt it. We may be checking a bit of resistance here before we head lower. That's the crude market for today. Last but not least, this evening we're going to take a look at Dr. Copper. And it looks like he's continuing to conduct business above our resistance area. We'll zoom into the hourly chart. Again, this is the daily. We'll zoom into the hourly to take a look, and I can show you exactly where we feel that is. But as you can see, we've broken through the downward sloping trend channel. Zooming in here to the hourly chart, you can see two volume profiles that I've placed on the chart. This broader one is what we've kept an eye on for a long time. You can see that's basically the entire move down from early to mid-July to present. And this most recent move up, trading right into the volume weighted average price, and price continues to trade above it. Most of today's action above the volume weighted average price. So, Dr. Copper may be proving us wrong. We've been looking for a move to the short side. Our propensity is for a move down. Actually, we anticipate a move through this consolidation area. We will see how it goes. We look for a move lower through this congestion zone, and over the weekend we'll take a look at the commitment to trade report to see if we can't get some data to show whether or not this may be off the table or whether maybe it's a longer term move that we're holding on to. Just an update for you guys. I'm going to be out of town through Monday, so I won't have any updates tomorrow. I do expect to preview the markets on Monday as well as Monday afternoon, giving you an update on the market action. Monday, I'll also be putting out a review of commitment to trader data sometime on Monday. And lastly, just a couple reminders for you guys. Tomorrow, quad witching day in the U.S. If you're not familiar with what that is, stock option expiry, stock future expiry, index option expiry, and index future index future expiration. We can expect a jerky market, lots of volatility, and after that we have two significant central bank meetings both reporting out on the 21st of September. For me, for my trading, I very well may stay flat until those meetings are over, just to get a better feel for the market. But that's me. That's not you. You trade your account, you trade your money, and you make your own decisions. So I wish you guys the best of luck, and that's our market wrap for the 15th of September 2016. Best of luck, traders.